Welcome back to Eyes on the Ball, episode number 5. As you can see, I am here alone. No Mr. Rob for today. He is kind of busy. He graduating soon, so he's finishing his assignments for class and stuff like that. But you know, I just wanted to have an episode out here for the week. Keep it going. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna make this a little bit short, just cause it's only me talking for today. It's also one of my first times recording on OBS and stuff, so it's like you might hear a lot of noise, a lot of me huffing and puffing because it's my first time. I apologize greatly. Please have patience with me. I'm not the best, but yeah. But let's get right into it. I want to talk about the Nuggets and the OKC, but I'm gonna do that last because that's like really the main series that I've been like paying attention to since the beginning. That's really one I just been watching since it started, right? Basically. So I'm gonna talk about that one last. I have a lot to say about that one. Right now the Cavs and Pacers are playing. They're getting blown out by 50. It's kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. Um, I think Donovan Mitchell also unfortunately got like an ankle injury during the halftime, so he's not playing. He's not returning, which kind of sucks. I mean, what makes it worse is like this is a game that makes it 3-1, and not a lot of teams have come back from a 3-1 deficit. I mean, one of the main times it happened though was on the Cavs team, so who knows? I don't think it'll happen though. But one thing about that series, or a lot of things actually, um, the Pacers are just a goddamn good team. You can't underrate them. They've been great for a while, and they're gonna continue to be great. They're a great system team. They have a great point guard who's smart with the ball, barely turns it over. He can be a shooter sometimes. He hasn't been really efficient recently, or kind of like the superstar level that he's kind of been held to. But I think the fact that he's just making the right choices all the time, continuing to make the right play, continuing to not be selfish. I mean, that's one thing with the Pacers team. They are not a selfish team. They love to give the ball up to another teammate if it means a better quality shot, and they are not afraid to pass the ball out. I think like it's crazy honestly. Like there's not one single player on that team who I look at and like, oh, that's a selfish player, or they're gonna ISO in this possession. Like every player on that team wants the best possible possession to come out from any possession, and so it's crazy how much they love to rack up assist, the team assist. Great ball movement, just a great system team. It really is just phenomenal, and that's I guess you can kind of point that up to Rick Carlisle and his coaching ability. But yeah, I mean it's a great team. Um, One thing that did suck though was with the Cavs is unfortunately they came into the series with Evan, or not. I don't think Evan was injured, but uh, Garland was injured because of the toe injury that he had in the Heat game, and I had a feeling that injury was like something that was actually impactful because him and Tyler Harrow's beef, like for you to sit out after talking all that shit, I feel like it was crazy. I guess you kind of pointed to, oh, they're gonna win with or without me, so it doesn't matter. But then he missed game 4 as well, and I think that was like kind of like the say all do all, if that makes sense. That it was like an actual important injury. Um, so yeah, he missed the first game. Um, I think Evans still played. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, he missed the first game. They lost. Second game, he also missed. Yeah, he missed as well. The second game actually, Evan, Garland, and DeAndre missed. So that was like terrible. One thing it showed though was how great of a scorer Donovan Mitchell is. He damn near turned back the clock to Utah Jazz Donovan Mitchell. And I remember how he was torching us up, my Grizzlies up, in that first round, that one series. But yeah, he's been fucking phenomenal. One thing about his style of play that I also love, I keep repeating one thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One, I was about to say it again. Something that he does really well is that he uses his upper body really well in terms of like absorbing contact, going up for driving lanes, finishes. And he's been, I don't want to say he hasn't been a good shooter, but I feel like he has become a lot more of a solid shooter, and it shows a lot um, this season with the Cavs and also this postseason as well. She's been amazing from three. He continue to be good. Um, but yeah, I think he's averaged like 40 so far. Probably doesn't have 40 tonight because they're down by 50. But he's been averaging 40. He's been an amazing scorer. Um, Almost a great playmaker too, I would say. At least making the right choices with the ball in his hands. But yeah, he's been amazing so far. And he's always been great too. I mean, he's always been the type of player who like they've never been on a good team for them to really show out and show that they can really impact winning, like he is on the Cavs right now. I mean, in terms of the regular season, we've seen what they've done, and it's them and the Thunder in terms of how great they are. But unfortunately, I mean, we're kind of in that position right now with this series where they might get bounced out, and it's honestly like heartbreaking because I genuinely feel bad for him because you join this team, you want to make it work, you want to try to go deep in the playoffs, and now you're getting bounced out by like a team who, again, I feel like they don't have the fear factor, like they're not a team you kind of like look out for, but they are a great team. They always have been a great team. They've continued to play great in every Eastern playoff series that they're in. So yeah, very unfortunate, very 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 unfortunate. um, I want to bring up Andrew Nemhard. I feel like he's such a playoff riser. I don't have the stats right now. I apologize. Kind of don't have any like concrete information, so this is off the dome right now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I know for sure though that he's been like his stats have increased like like double basically in terms of how much he's been, how efficient he's been, and how impactful he's been in the playoffs. He's become a great 3 point shooter, and he's gonna continue to be great. A great. I mean, one thing that I said it again. No. Anyways, his shoulder is insane. I mean, it's phenomenal how much he can push a player back with just a shoulder charge. Like it feels like he's like playing football out there, but like legally. And it's a great, honestly. He's been amazing. His touch around the rim, amazing. Shooting ability, amazing. Finishing, amazing. He's been a great player. He is the definition of a playoff riser, and the fact that the Pacers have him, is just incredible. Another player, T.J. McConnell. I know, um, people don't really bring him up, but every time I watch the man, I always think about that one Josh Hart video where he like talks about how like if they were in a fight with T.J. McConnell, like you'd have to kill him because he wouldn't stop. And when you watch him play, it makes sense. Like that guy does not give up on plays. He sneaks around. He'll throw his body towards the ball, and it's never in a malicious way either. Like it's not like a type of thing where he's like trying to like stop the player going for the ball. Like he's trying to chase that ball down, and he will do anything and everything to go at it. And I love it. Like the hustle is there, and he's just an incredible player to have him off the bench. And again, he's like a great playmaker too. Like he's just a smart player. So the Pacers having Halliburton and him as like their main like kind of like system guards, amazing. Such a great player to rely on. Um, Pascal Siakam. I feel like maybe it's just me, but I feel like he doesn't get. I don't want to say he doesn't get the respect, but I think he definitely is like a player who's like always consistent. Just always consistent. Like I remember, I think like 2 or 3 years ago, they used to clown him for like the little spin cycle that he did. Like they would just call him like see tornado or something like her. I don't even know, something like that, because he would always do the spin move and it would always fucking work too, which made it hilarious. But yeah, he's been great. Just again a consistent player, can do it all, can rebound, can shoot, and yeah, great player. Um, oh, one thing, I said it again. God damn, I'm not gonna stop saying it. I guess. Um, with the Cavs, Ty Jerome, Ty Jerome, he has not been playing the best. it's kind of sad because it's like he was supposed to make so much money this all season. He was supposed to make so much money this all season. He was supposed to be a great six man of the year candidate. Damn near like one of those players where you might like an Austin Reeves kind of player, where it's like, you know, you give him a starting position on a team that's bad, he might average 30, 25, and 10. But unfortunately, that is not what it's coming out to this playoffs. It kind of sucks because they are missing a lot of production from him. I feel like the offense in general with the Cavaliers have just not been there. Um, I'm seeing in this game as well, the game going on right now. There's been a lot of turnovers, especially Jared Allen is turning the ball over because he's just not catching the passes. And I don't think that's a common thing, but it's just one thing I've noticed with this series. I mean, with this game right now. And yeah, the offense is just not there. I don't think the Cavs have necessarily always been a great defensive team, like in terms of like if you just compare them to other teams that are like great defensively, that we know are great defensively. I don't think they're like competing out there, even though they do have Evan Mobley, the defensive player of the year. He carries that defense a lot. Um, he carries the defensive load a lot on that team, and although he is still going to be keeping the defense afloat in the series and in the games, if they're not prepared, if they're not, turn it over on the offensive side, put it on the burners, going to war, it's not gonna work out. Um, yeah, 3-1 right now. I don't want to see 6 minutes, 4 minutes left, down by 30. Pacers win this, unfortunately. um, what's the next series? Knicks versus Pistons. Knicks versus Pistons. Knicks versus Celtics. Um, this is like such a culture kind of series. I feel like New York versus Boston. Um, just two forces. Again, like in the also in like the MLB world, and if you're like Dominican too, like the beef is always like it's either New York Mets or Yankees versus Boston Red Sox. So that's the beef all the time with Dominicans. So it's kind of funny seeing it here in the NBA world. Um, but yeah, no, those first two games won by the Knicks. To win two games away is phenomenal. To win them in the fashion that they did, phenomenal. That's not something that's sustainable. You will not continue to beat. You will not win four games against the reigning champions by beating them in the clutch or coming back against them when they lift their foot off the gas. That's just not gonna happen. And that's what happened today, or not today. I think yesterday they lost by a decent amount. Um, Co-host Rob said it last pod, I think, but he basically said the Celtics, because there's such a not reliance on 3 point shooting, but their whole kind of artillery is 3 point shooting. It kind of becomes this thing where it's like they can shoot themselves out of games, and I think that's what happened. That's what continued to happen, both of those games in the second half. They just shot themselves out the game. They continued to settle for shots that just were not going in, and what does it do? It makes it causes turnovers. Knicks, win the possession on a fast break, and you can repeat the cycle again and again. And I think that's what happened with the Celtics those two games. Um, I know Tatum is catching flack for being like 6'8", 6'9", and relying on 3 point shooting. I think the issue is, and Jalen Brown too, but I think the issue is like, I don't want to say if it's not broke, don't fix it, because it is broke. You got to fix it. You got to make adjustments in the playoffs. But they've won a championship doing it, and it's not like it's a bad choice to keep on doing. I think you got to keep your identity strong, and that's what the NBA is about, especially on the offensive side. Not really off in general, really, just like on both sides of the floor. Like you have to have an identity. You have to keep that consistent because half of the time it's gonna come down to like how well you play at your style of ball. if it's not like a clutch time situation. And even then, it's like if it comes down to a clutch possession and you're in a kind of like set or possession where you excel at, your team excels at, that's a free bucket, and that's gonna give you the gap, or it's gonna extend your lead, or make it closer to the make the game a little bit closer. So you have to excel at keeping your identity, and that's what the Celtics have done. I mean, that's what they did last game, and look at them. Um, Trying to think of some moments from the games that were like crazy. Oh, fucking yeah! I mean the first two games, the fact that they ended the same exact way with a McCall Bridges kind of like clutch defensive play is hilarious. I mean that's fate, but it's also like low key Mickey Mouse as fuck because that's hilarious. Um, the first one was like, because the first one was a block on a Jason Tatum fader, and again that's like, it's one of those things where it's like not the game is in time, but they're up by two, and I think with that two they tie the game that Jason Tatum attempts. But it's like, why are you trying to fader? Like you're 6'8", you have Jalen Brunson on you. Lock in, bro. I think Jalen Brunson was on him. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's like kind of like those things where like they shot themselves out the game, and then the Knicks realized that they could step on the gas, that they were going to continue to miss these threes, and they took advantage of them. And that's what you have to do if you want to win against the Celtics. You got to take advantage of their cold streaks, and that's what the Knicks did. They played amazing. Um, other than other than game three, but yeah, and then game two, McCall Bridges also hit stole the ball away from Jalen Brown. I think it was Jalen Brown. He just mean mugged that motherfucker and grabbed it and walked off. Like fuck, that's big boy shit. That's big boy shit. So yeah, that was a dope W. Um, I think I said Knicks in seven. And I think Rob has said Celtics in five. I still got Knicks in seven. Well, I'm on my Knicks to win. I think. Well, not my Knicks. I mean, they're like the home team. They're like the closest team to my state. So I gotta support them. And also, I mean, they got a Dominican legend, Mr. Carl Anthony Towns. Oh wait, today's Mother's Day. Um, I mean, it's 10:37 p.m. Happy Happy Mother's Day to all the people with moms watching this shit. Anyways, yeah, that's that series. What's another one that I'm trying to think of? Oh, Timberwolves versus Warriors. Um, sheesh, that's a weird series for me. It's such a weird series. I don't know why. Um, Julius Randle, incredibly consistent. I saw a stat today where he like like in terms of playoff performances, I think 21 and 23, it was like 39%, 17 points, and now he's shooting like 40 or 37%, 17 points, and now he's shooting like 49% field goal percentage with 21 points. And like he's like averaging 21, like he's not, 24, 28, 14, something like that. Like it's 21 points. Like he's dropping a consistent 20 bump all the time. And so that performance by Julius Randle has been like incredible for the team. Um, I mean, what they really wanted with Julius Randle was a point forward who can also score the ball and take some of the load off Anthony Edwards. But it's also to the point where it's like, I feel like Ant isn't even performing the best, to be honest. Like he had like in the game that just passed, I think yesterday's game, before halftime he had like less than 10 points maybe. And then he somehow ended it with like 36. He just fucking blew up that second half, which is crazy to see. Um, One thing about Ant that has been kind of like apparent is his like 2 point shooting and his ability to finish. It has not been the best. He's kind of settling on jumpers a lot, um, which I think kind of like turns back to that question that one reporter asked earlier in the season. about like, oh, what do you have to say to people who keep on talking about your your 3 point shooting increase? It's fucking, and I get it. Um, it's to the point now where it's like even if he misses those 3 point shots, the coverage is gonna be there, the gravity's gonna be there. The fact that he can shoot extremely well makes it a little bit more easier for him to kind of like um score inside the paint and make some baseline middies like he used to do a lot. Um, but yeah, I feel like that's what happened in that third game yesterday. Um, in that second half, he can just kind of turn it up. So yeah, that was a great performance by him in that second half. There were people ready to, I mean, there are people ready to call him like not top five anymore. Like not 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 even top 10. Yeah, people were calling him overrated already. He had a crazy fucking poster on Looney Tunes too. Crazy. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, him and Julius Randle has been amazing. Um, Jaden McDaniels again. He's just his like his growth has been so phenomenal. Like that is the perfect kind of player that you want around Ant. And I feel like it's almost to that point where it's like you would like as a if you're a GM, like you want like everybody would want him because he's just a plug and play kind of player where it's like you don't want him to like he knows his role, he knows what he'll do, and he's gonna excel at it. Like he doesn't need the ball in his hands to be great offensively. And he's gonna put his heart out. He's gonna pour his heart out on defense. He's just a great player, great 2 way player, and he's gonna continue to be that way. Um, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I'm jealous. As a Grizzlies fan, I wish I had him on my team. But yeah, in terms of the Warriors, Curry's been out. He might come back for Game 6. Don't know if that's the right choice. If it is like kind of messing him up that much, the hamstring strain. I think he said like that's like the first time that's ever happened to him. Or I might be thinking about the LeBron MCL sprain too. One of those two. Um, but yeah, he has not been. He just hasn't been on the court because he's injured, and they definitely miss him. I mean, the offense is not there without him. I think Buddy Hield. He said it himself. Buddy Hield said it himself. But there's no replacing Curry. But I think he is trying to fill a role that Curry provides for the team, and it makes sense. I feel like it would be smart to play Buddy Hield in that way. I mean, it's not like he can't shoot the three. Like he's been a great 3 point shooter for the Warriors, and I think like the only thing I can think of is like the problem is Buddy Hield does not have a fast release like Curry. Like, and that's what make Curry that is what makes Curry so deadly. That he can just launch that bitch in like less than a second, and it's all net. So it's like any lick of space you give Curry, it's over. Buddy Hield needs some time to prep his shot, and I think that's like the big difference between the two. Obviously, like the fact that Curry just a much better 3 point shooter, but I think it would be hard to replicate what Curry can do when nobody healed because you don't have the fast release like Curry does. Yeah. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is just he's such a smart player. I think he continues to and his style of grifting is so like it doesn't come off as excessive sometimes. Like he can get over excessive, and again, I don't like grifting at all. I'm not a fan of grifting. I don't think it's like a skill either. I think it's like kind of like I don't think it's hard to flop around. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit hard to make it seem convincing, but I don't think it's. I don't. When people bring up grifting or fouling, foul baiting as a skill, I don't think it's a skill at all. But that's besides the point. But his style of grifting is something that's like more. It's kind of like an intelligent side where it comes off as like he does it on both sides of the floor. Like he's not just doing it to score. Like he's doing it on the defensive end, stopping, the other player from like if it's like if it's like some sort of like momentum changing kind of bucket that they might get. Like he might take the charge and sell it really well, and that stops our momentum. So I think he's a very smart player in the way that he grifts, um, and it's clear. Like I don't think he needs it. He's a great scorer regardless. I think he has a pretty good bag. That move that he had on Anthony Edwards was crazy. I mean, he ant bit like shit on that little uh 180. It was disgusting. Like it was disgusting the way Ant bit on it. Um, and Ant has always been like a one to bite really excessively. I feel like, um, but seeing him bite on like like you don't expect Jimmy Butler to like do something like that. So I guess I kind of get why he bit so hard on that little turnaround, but it was nasty as fuck. Um, but yeah, Jimmy Butler has been. I think it's different to kind of it's different from the Miami Heat where it's like he's used to playing with the guys, like so he kind of knows what kind of playmaking options he can go for. But with the Warriors, like again, like they still have Buddy Hield, they have Kaminga too. And I think Kaminga's a weird player because he kind of like I don't want to say he relies on athleticism, but he's kind of like a wild shot creator in the sense that there's like not a lot of control with him. He kind of like you can definitely see him kind of just like he just follows wherever his body takes him kind of thing. Like there's not a lot of control in his direction, his pacing. Um, Even on his like fadeaways where it requires like great footwork, like and like he'll flush it too. It's crazy, but it's like it comes off as like super janky and kind of like just like wild and messy. I think he dropped 30, which was nice. Um, but I think like he's not great defensively either. But like I mean, the Warriors need offense right now, and I think Steve Kerr should play him a bit more. It is a gamble again because it's like if he's not scoring, then he's just like a cone out there, or not maybe not a cone, but he's not gonna impact the defensive side a lot like other players might. So yeah, I think it's kind of like if he's not providing on one end, like he's not if he can't provide, or if he isn't providing on one end, then the other side, like him not being able to provide, is just gonna come off. It's just like there's no reason to keep it in the game, kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's 2-1 right now. Timberwolves up. Um, I don't. I think honestly, even if Curry comes back, I don't think the Timberwolves lose to the Warriors. Um, yeah, I'm thinking lose regardless. I think it's over. Timberwolves got him in the bag, unfortunately. Now, if Curry wasn't injured since the beginning, then I think it'd be a bit different. Then I think it's like, okay, maybe they do have a chance. I still have the Timberwolves before Curry went out, but I think like with the Warriors defense, it's like they have great perimeter defenders, but it's like it's Curry, like it's Stephen Curry. You know, it's he's a different type of player, and if he's excelling, then the rest of the team is gonna excel because it all comes down to Curry. Like if he's shooting the lights out, then it's like you got to put two defenders on him. You got to make sure that he's being guarded well. And then you have Jimmy Butler, who's a smart player, who's going to be a great playmaking hub, while also being a great scorer, and is making right decisions all the time. And Draymond Green as well. Draymond Green, um, I kind of felt bad. Maybe not bad, but like he's been so excessive, and I know everybody talks about it too. But he's been so excessive with his like complaining about calls and whining and stuff. But I feel like in game three, like when he got fouled out, like there were some fouls that were just not, like it's not like he's done worse and he's done double in terms of like how worse the foul is and it hasn't been called. So I feel it was kind of like now they're like gunning him, and so I kind of felt a little bit bad. But I mean, even if he stayed in the game, I don't think they win. I don't think The Warriors would have won anyways. Okay. Now the main series, the best series so far for sure. OKC versus the Nuggets. Woo! Sheesh. Amazing series. Amazing, amazing, amazing series. Um, I think um the Nuggets coming in OKC after a game 7 against the Clippers. After OKC had 8 days of rest and winning in the clutch like that, the way that they did, was cinema. Not only was it cinema, but it showed how much experience matters. And I think some people try to act like experience doesn't matter. That is type sort of like excuse for a younger team not making it out, or like an excuse or like an answer or solution as to why the older team will always win. I don't think that's it. I think it's a very obvious and like apparent reason as to why a younger team might lose. Because again, there's no other explanation for OKC losing the way that it did in that first game. There just isn't. There just isn't. There's not. There's no explanation for it at all. Um, Shea, and I don't want to blame it on Shea because I don't think it was his fault entirely. Like what he did was smart. Um, but Shea, there was an inbound pass. Um, and Shea had an open lane to dunk it. They were up two, or they were up either up one or up two. So Shea, with like 10 seconds left. Again, 10 seconds left. They're up. Now, what Shea does is he immediately takes the ball and bolts to the rim and dunks it in like less than a second. It extends the lead, gives him easy points. But if he had stayed with the ball, then it forces the Nuggets to foul him and more time passes. That means less time for the Nuggets to make a play on their side of the court to either tie the game up, win the game, whatever. Right. But he takes a dunk immediately. Fine. Again, I understand the play. I don't think that was a. Again, I don't think that specific thing was a lack of experience. But I feel like him. I feel like him being the leader of the team and him having the most experience in terms of playoffs, other than Caruso, like it kind of came off as like if he had done that, if he made the better decision, that right decision, they would probably be up 3-1 right now too. Who knows? Right. And then what happens after? Again, I think at that time Jokic is on the bench, right? Because I think so. Jokic is on the bench because I think what they wanted to do was foul. What the Nuggets wanted to do on that possession with the inbound ball was to foul one of the players, but they ended up getting Shea ended up having the easy dunk again. And even if you think about it like that, it's like okay, Jokic's on the bench. They have 9 seconds left. They need a three to tie. I think it was a three or whatever to either tie the game up or lead the game. The Nuggets. So then it comes off as like, hold on, take this two. Jokic's on the bench. He can't play make. He can't facilitate for the team. They have to rely on what they can do and create a creative three for them, and that's gonna be hard with no Jokic. Unfortunately, they inbounded the ball after the Shea dunk, and Caruso immediately fouls. That gives Jokic the ability to come onto the court, and I think they shoot 2 free throws as well. The problem is, again, they have time on the clock, a lot of time on the clock. So I think it's Aaron Gordon gets fouled. He makes both free throws. Now OKC's up one or two. I don't know. I don't remember the exact thing. All I know, they're still up, but it's like if they get a three, it's over, right? So um, OKC gets possession of the ball. They inbound it. Nuggets foul shot, and it's that possession again is what makes that possession so good is Caruso inbounding the ball to Jokic Jokic is looking at Caruso at first, or yeah, Jokic is looking at Caruso face to face with Caruso. As soon as he realized that the players are moving to create the set, so they can give whoever the ball, then Jokic turns around, puts his back to Caruso, and then it creates this like moving kind of screen where it's like now he's watching the ball, so that if Shea, who they probably want to get the ball to, touches the ball, like they can hinder that. They don't want Shea to touch the ball, so now Jokic is gonna be able to look at the ball wherever it passes, and I have another guy, another set of eyes to look at the ball, right? So which was like a great. I thought that was a great smart defensive play from Jokic. um, Shaq ends up getting the ball. He gets fouled, and when I fucking tell you, when he missed the first one, I was like, holy fucking shit, it's over. He's gonna miss the second one. Even if he didn't miss the second one, I think what follows afterwards either ends in a tie or I don't know what happens again. But he misses both of them. And again, like if that's not experience in that situation, again, Shet has never been in that situation. You know what I mean? Where it's like this is like a game winning free throw. Game like dagger kind of free throw. He's nervous, he's jittery, he's shaking. I mean, honestly, every possession that happened down the line, you can chalk up to experience because it should have never happened that way. Even Mark, uh, called him Dino Nugget because I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I apologize. But the OKC coach, him telling Caruso to follow up three, like doing it immediately, kind of caused him to the game too. Because again, you can't follow up three that fast. If you're gonna follow up three, let the time run out a little bit. You know, make it a lot harder for the other team to get the ball down the court if they make both free throws. But they fouled him immediately. They fouled Aaron Gordon immediately. Anyways, Shem misses both free throws. Ball comes down. OKC does not get the rebound. They don't even chase the rebound either. Like they just like they kind of like go back to play defense immediately, which is kind of interesting looking back on it. But Christian Braun gets the rebound, passes it to Westbrook, bolts down the court, and you can kind of tell Westbrook almost just like full head of steam, just went to the would go to the rim, but he passed out to Aaron Gordon, and Mr. Nugget makes it three. Mr. Nugget makes the three. And that wins them the game. Wins them the game. And again, like that's something where it's like, sure, you want to say experience doesn't matter. I feel like that's the perfect type of like event where experience does matter. They lose that game because of experience. Never been in a situation before. Made bad decisions because of the fact, again, that whole like foul up three thing comes from the idea of like that has always worked in previous situations, like 90% of the time. So we're gonna do it again. But again, them not being in that situation makes it so that they think that's a viable situation, but it's just not. And again, if Aaron Gordon misses a three, then it comes down and it's like, oh, a smart play, whatever, whatever. But he makes it, so it's not a smart play. But yeah, that was a great W from the Nuggets. Um, yeah, Shea didn't play the best that game. I think J Dub had like 30. Um, and Shea missed some shots down the stretch too. He has not been great down in the clutch time. But next game comes OKC demolishes the Nuggets. Demolishes. I mean, we're talking about 120 positions. This 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 fucks him. No other way to put it. This dogs him. One thing that I've noticed that game was that I feel like I've never seen Shea play that aggressive in the first quarter. Like they again like that their overwhelming swarming defense. Shea would get on the fast break and just like speed down the court. Like I feel like that's the first. I think that's like the fastest I've ever seen Shea run down the court. And they played phenomenal that game. I mean, everybody was amazing. The team as a whole shot 50, 40, 90. And it wasn't even 50, 49. It was like damn near like 55, 43, and like 92 maybe. But yeah, they played amazing that game. Um, but it does, and so they blew him out so bad that, you know, they were able to rest Jokic in the fourth and Shea as well. They were able to rest their starters in the fourth, for both teams. But yeah, they played. OKC just played on their minds that game. Um, yeah, but it was kind of like that when that happened. I was like, okay, this is a team that can shoot 50, 40, 90 all the time because they've done it in the regular season. Is it gonna happen again? Probably not. I don't think it's sustainable, especially again because it's like it's just rare for a team to shoot 50, 40, 90 in playoffs, especially. Like you're gonna make adjustments. You're gonna make sure they don't play like that again. And the Nuggets won the next game. They won. Before I go back to it, I feel like Shea played really well as a playmaker that game. He was a lot more passive in his shots. Like I feel like he was definitely trying to make the smarter choices on purpose during that game. Like he was definitely trying to kind of get his teammates more um not acclimated, but kind of just like getting them more in the game. Um, and I think felt like that was like a great kind of playmaking game from Shea, even though he did score really great too. But yeah, game three, basically the same exact thing as game one, where um, the Nuggets shot the three ball a lot better that game, and shooting the three ball against OKC defense is what you want because they don't play the three that they don't play the defensive to the 3 point their 3 point defense is not necessarily the best, and so because of that, if you take advantage of it, makes them have to play defense on the three, then it opens up the paint a lot more, and that's what you want because the OKC defense is like just like straight just sardines in the paint. Like they stack up the paint. Like you'll see four white jerseys in the paint all the time with OKC defense, and scary as fuck. I'd imagine because they have Shet in there, they have iHeart in there, they have Caruso, they have Shea, Kaysen, Dort, Wiggins. Like they just have big dudes in there who are just trying to stop you from scoring. Um, but yeah, so what they did really well that game was they shot the three ball a lot better. The Nuggets, um, OKC also. Again, it was one of those things where it was like Shea, and this is what with Shea, it's like if he's not being an efficient player, then his playmaking falls down, and it's not because it kind of um like as a mental thing where he's like, okay, like I can't score, I'm just not gonna play make. Like it's like his playmaking kind of relies on his efficiency, like how well is he scoring the ball, and the reason why is because it's like he's a mid range shooter. That's his whole shtick. If he's not shooting well from the mid range, just let him ISO, let him score. You know, because then it forces him to be that type of player where it's like, okay, you make the two, but if you miss it, it's like all you're doing is settling on jump shots that are just not going in, and it's not making great looks for your team because it's not attracting, it's not gravitating players towards you when you take your jump shot, where you can open up the lane or create another shot for another player who could be open because a defender is coming towards you to help block the shot or make the shot harder for you. If you're not being efficient from the mid range, it's an ISO game. I mean, and that's what the mid range is, anyways. But it's like not being efficient makes it so that your playmaking ability suffers, and that's what happened. I think that game they kind of just um fell flat again in that fourth quarter. They were not playing the best. He did not make the right decisions either. Um, J Dub, I think, also damn near had a 30. I think J Dub had like 20 that for the second game that they won. Then he had 30 that game, like just amazing down the stretch, which is like again what you want from J Dub because he hasn't been the greatest down the stretch, anyways. but he played really really well that game, and Shea settled on jump shots again, and instead of passing the ball to the hot hand, and that, again, that's what cost them the game. It's like I wouldn't say that one is more experienced, because what I realized was in game one when Shea took the dunk immediately, there was another situation in game three where it's like not a lot of seconds left on the clock, and Shea had a fast break, but instead of going for the layup or whatever attempt that he was gonna go for, he kind of he lets the time run out for a little bit, and I think that's this possession where he like settles for the mid range jump shot on Christian Brown. I think that's the possession. I don't remember exactly, but I don't think it ends up in a score anyways. But it's like, okay, he's learning. He's not. He's he's trying to make the better choice. But again, it was like him being selfish with the ball in his hands kind of like costing them that game. Um, yeah, and again, like missed the nugget. Aaron Gordon, phenomenal, phenomenal player. I mean, he has answered the call every single time. Every single time he has answered the call that they need him, and he continues to be great. Even in the game today that they lost, the Nuggets lost, like he continued. Like he made a three over shot with like 1 second left that looked stupid as fuck. Like had no business going in at all, but he made it somehow. Like fucking 40 feet out on a what's it called, on a backboard. You know, like that's just crazy as fuck. So yeah, he played it really well that game. Um, and he made the clutch three. He doing it for Russ, and that's awesome. I I really do hope that like I'm honestly, I'll straight up say it too. I'm rooting for the Nuggets. I don't want OKC to win, but but I'm gonna give credit where it's due. You know, OKC is an amazing team, and again, that game too. I mean, they responded the way that you would want to respond after losing game one in a way like that. Like that's how you gotta respond, and they played amazing. They played amazing that game. Um, but yeah, game three again, last game. Um, also played great, but Shea not being a great playmaker kind of does cost him, because then he settles for shots. Him foul baiting, trying to foul bait for the end for the game as well. I was like, just like, and what makes it worse to me is like I feel like players who like him and Embiid are two players whom they're great players. They don't have to foul bait. Like go for the shot, because we everybody knows that you can make the shot. Like trying to bait for the two there is like, it's kind of like disappointing, because like we know that you can take it. We know that you can take the shot, so take the two or whatever shot that you normally take. Instead of going for the foul bait. I'm not trying to diss on Embiid either. I'm just bringing it up because I feel like he does that a lot as well sometimes. But yeah, so another player that I want to be given the respect to is Alex Caruso. Holy fucking shit! I feel like again, shoot me. Experience matters. Who's the player with the most experience in terms of just like the making it the farthest? Alex Caruso, and he's damn near been like, I kind of want to say he damn near been the second best player on OKC in terms of like impact, and he's been the best 3 point shooter in my opinion. One of the best. He's been one of the better 3 point shooters on the team this postseason. And again, Alex Caruso has never been a great 3 point shooter, especially in the regular season. He kind of like recently is getting better with that, but he's been great from the 3 point line, and he's been making very, very, very important shots down the stretch too. Um, but yeah, he's been great. The defense is amazing. Um, and yeah, I feel like um, the officiating has been kind of like weird these past. I kind of I made a tweet about it, but I was like kind of like these away teams winning on like yeah these away teams winning is so weird because usually the home team wins because like usually the officiating at home is a lot better. But I feel like it's kind of flipped, and I feel like that's made like I'm not saying that's why, but it's kind of funny like seeing it flip, and now away teams are winning a lot more. Um, because I feel like the officiating has been like much more oriented against away teams now. But yeah, that's just me. I don't know. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just one thing I noticed. Um, I love the physicality in that OKC versus Nuggets game. I think the one thing is I feel like it's one of those things where it's like okay, the defense that's being allowed is very physical. Um, there was a clip that ESPN posted of Alex Caruso literally grabbing, twisting, pushing the Jokic's arms. And they're like, "Oh, that's great defense from Caruso." And there's like 4 fouls in that in that video alone, but they don't call it. But then they end up calling like some other simple shit, for either team. So it kind of comes off as like, what exactly is a foul and what isn't a foul. Um, and yeah, I don't think the Nuggets lost because I don't think the Nuggets lost today because of fouls. They lost because they didn't make their free throws and they were fucking stunk it up on a 3 point line today. Both teams, to be honest, but I feel like the OKC definitely made more. Again, because of Caruso and Cason Wallace as well. I want to give Cason Wallace a huge shout out. He's been fucking so great, so fucking great. Like that is a player who makes winning plays. They make that's a player who that's a winning player, and so for him coming off the bench, him being able to hit important threes, him being able to guard the other man's best player or the other team's best player, just incredible. Um, but yeah, I think what the fuck was I talking about? Damn, my brain farting. Sheesh. Anyways, yeah, they lost tonight. They lost today. Kind of sucks because I was rooting for them, unfortunately. But yeah, they lost because they again 3 point shooting and god damn, I told my dad about it too. I was like, okay, whatever happens in this game, it's gonna be a low scoring game. None of them motherfuckers scored more than 100. Not one. I think OKC was close at like 97, 95 maybe. But nobody like and it was and a lot of it was because of 3 point shooting. I mean, they were throwing up bricks. I think it was like 1 for 30, 1 out of 32 3 points were made. Like from like in summation, like of both teams about like a little bit before the half. Like fuck, that's disgusting, man. They had John Morant shooting out there. I mean, he probably shoot better than that. Jesus. But anyways, yeah, that was disgusting from both teams. Um, but again, I think with OKC, it's like with OKC, you want to be a great 3 point shooting team because that is what's going to allow the team to loosen up in the paint and make it easier for either Jokic to get into the paint and score his buckets against iHeart or Shet. But they shot terrible from three. They shot horrible from three, and they continued that streak till the end of the game. I think they were like 1 from 12 in the fourth quarter, and I think the 1 3 they made was an Aaron Gordon one at the end, which was like a miracle three. But yeah, it was just like it's just nasty work. And again, they missed five free throws, which would have tied in the game, but they missed them. Um, I don't think OKC did anything too specific at the end too to help them win the game, other than the fact that they played great defense. Again, they forced them to take the shots that they were missing. They continued to pack the paint. Um, but again, Shea was being selfish with the ball in his hands. He took three straight possessions, and one of them was like an offensive rebound, and he took another shot that he missed, like just three straight. Like it was a step back three. either two step back threes in the midi. No, it was like two threes in the midi, and he missed all three times. But yeah, that was like that was honestly a disappointing loss for the Nuggets too, because it's like if they had kept, if they had made, even if they just made their free throws, like not even the threes, because both teams sucked from 30 that game. But if they made their free throws, it would have been a different, probably been a different outcome, probably. But yeah, both teams absolutely sucked from 30. They played horrible from three. But it makes sense again the scheduling. That's why I said the game was not gonna be a high scoring game. You know, they just came back from an OT game, 1 day of rest, and they played a morning game basically, and it's not the best. Um, I think like people might think like a 1 day is like enough, but when you gotta think about like the fact that again it's like an OT game. This is a playoff environment. Like you're sore as shit, and you have to play again in the morning. Like you don't have rest. You know, like you don't have enough rest to like come back fully. But it was damn near CTU hoops that first half. Like that was bad. That was bad. Nuggets played pretty well that third quarter. I think. There was a possession where Russ just fucking absolutely locked up Shea. That was cool as fuck to witness. But yeah, I mean they fumbled at the end. And what kind of sucks is for the Nuggets is like, OKC got their dub in the clutch. You know, and that was like the both ways that the Nuggets won was from clutch time. And again, to be fair, it's not like OKC did anything too special. Again, like they just Nuggets just did not make their shots, and OKC didn't really score too much to kind of like those last few minutes of the game for them to even be like to say that they kind of did anything to help them win the game. Again, on the offensive side, the defensively they've been great, but yeah, Nuggets kind of just they just kind of shit on themselves, unfortunately. But um, yeah, I kind of had the notion in my mind that the Nuggets, whoever won today's game, is gonna win the series. I think OKC still might win. Um, Again, especially the fact that they beat the Nuggets at their game, which is the clutch time game. I think it's gonna be I don't know. Again, obviously I want the Nuggets to win, but OKC could definitely like. I mean, who knows? OKC, like again, like one thing with them is like they haven't been playing the best either. They didn't shoot that well. They both, but again, both teams shot terrible from three. Both teams are horrible. Shea has been playing the best. He dropped like a decent game today, and they're gonna say that he played good. But it's like you watch the game. It's like it's not really the best performance. Like he's done a lot better, but at least it didn't result in an L, so it's not you know it won't be seen under that late. So it's whatever. But Jokic has been playing horribly. I feel like that's one of the reasons why why the Nuggets have been so like this bad. Because like if Jokic hit of his any more of his shots, the game would be different too. And yeah, obviously that's a surface value kind of argument kind of there. But yeah, I think Jokic has been playing horrible. He shot like my birthday date like twice now. Come on, dog. Playing like you the best in the world. What's going on, bruv? What's going on? Um, but yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about that series now. Kind of got most of what I had had in my mind off my chest. I got off my chest. Um, um, OKC bench playing on their minds for sure tonight too. They outscored Nuggets bench by like damn near 30. That was really good. Um, yeah, Aaron Wiggins had a good game. Case and Wallace had a good game. Caruso had a good game. Um, One player who I kind of find interesting is Jalen Williams, not J Dub, but the other dude, the other one, light skinned dude Dennis. He's such an interesting player because I feel like he's one of those players who I think that if you put them on like another team, like give him that starting spot, he could be kind of good. Um, I mean, he's been playing great defense on Jokic too. I feel like too. Um, and he can definitely be a great playmaking hub kind of five. So it's interesting. I feel like he would be pretty good if you put him in like gave him some like more minutes. Yeah, not in the playoffs. So like you gotta put iHeart and shit out there. Oh my goodness, how can I forget? I don't understand. iHeart missing 3 push shots in that third game was incredible because I think I mentioned it before in the other episodes, but that push shot of his probably the most efficient. Like it has to like not even like his game individually, but it has to be one of the most efficient shots like league wide. Like if you compare like everybody's like effective shot, like his push shot has to be like the top 5 because he does not miss those ever. For him to miss 3 in a row was nuts. Like, I feel like that's when like you could tie up the game right there. That was crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see the next games. Um, I think I can kind of see Nuggets pulling it out the next game, but I think what will happen is either OKC at 6, so they win both. OKC wins both next 2 games, or Nuggets in 7. I think is what makes the sense to me. Um, but yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 5 of Eyes on a Ball. Um, this is again new to me. Recording a video like this straight up. Hope I did a good job. Hope y'all liked it. If y'all did, like and subscribe. We'll try next week to get you have Mr. Rob back on the pod. We should, school is finishing pretty soon, so yeah, should be both of us back soon. Yeah, peace.